Right now, you are sitting in a chair, staring at a screen, wearing clothes, drinking something warm. You feel human. Completely. Obviously human. But underneath all of that, underneath the language, the manners, the mortgage, something older is still running. Something that has never once believed you left the wild. You never stopped being an animal. You just got very good at pretending. Your body proves it every single day. When someone cuts you off in traffic, your heart rate spikes before your brain even processes what happened. That is not modern stress. That is a threat response built over 2 million years. Your ancestors needed that reaction to survive a predator. Your nervous system does not know the predator is now a Honda Civic. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades studying the amygdala, a tiny almond-shaped structure buried deep in your brain. He found that fear signals travel to the amygdala faster than they reach your conscious mind. Your body is already reacting before you know what you are reacting to. That is not a glitch. That is ancient engineering, still running the same code it always has. Think about the last time you felt truly disgusted. Maybe it was a smell. Maybe it was food that looked wrong. That reaction, the curled lip, the turned stomach, is called the disgust response. Psychologist Paul Rozin studied it for years and found that disgust evolved specifically to keep early humans away from things that could kill them. Rotting meat, contaminated water, disease. Your body learned to feel revulsion before it learned to reason. And it still does. Every single time. You are not as far from the savannah as you think. Look at what happens when you walk into a room full of strangers. Your eyes move fast. You scan faces. You look for threats, for allies, for status signals. All within seconds, mostly without knowing it. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar discovered that the human brain grew larger in direct proportion to the complexity of our social groups. You did not develop a big brain to do math. You developed it to track relationships, to read faces, to remember who helped you and who betrayed you. That social anxiety you feel at a party? It is your primate brain doing exactly what it was built to do. The animal in you is not broken. It is ancient, and it is paying attention. Even the way you eat betrays what you are. You prefer sweet things. You crave fat and salt. You find it almost impossible to stop eating once you start. Food researcher David Kessler found that modern food companies engineer products specifically to exploit these ancient drives. They are not creating new cravings. They are hijacking ones your body developed in an environment where sugar was rare, fat was survival, and eating as much as possible when food was available was the smartest thing you could do. Your body is not weak. It is just operating on old instructions in a new world. That is the core of it. You are an ancient creature living in a modern environment. The mismatch between those two things explains almost everything uncomfortable about being human. You cannot sleep. Your brain is scanning for threats in the dark, the same way it did before walls existed. You feel restless and trapped inside routines. Your body was built to move through landscapes, not sit still for 8 hours. You get inexplicably sad for no reason, and no amount of comfort seems to reach it. Your nervous system knows something your conscious mind keeps forgetting, that you are a wild thing, and wild things were never meant to be this still. None of this means you are broken. It means you are extraordinarily old. The researcher Ajit Varki has argued that humans are unique among animals, not just because of our intelligence, but because of our ability to deny our own animal nature. We built cities and philosophies and religions, in part, to paper over the discomfort of knowing what we actually are. We are the only species that has to convince itself it is special. Every other animal just lives. So the next time your heart pounds for no visible reason, or you feel a flash of irrational fear, or you find yourself scanning a room for the nearest exit, do not fight it. That is not anxiety. That is 2 million years of survival still showing up for work. You never stopped being an animal. You just built a world that keeps asking you to pretend otherwise. And some part of you, the oldest part, has never once been fooled.